Hello and welcome back to Robinsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Especially will you here this one comment today. I really want to know what you think about this very fun paper making technique. It's actually not paper making, it's paper designing. So in the past couple of videos, I've been using some papers like this one and this one and this one. And I've wanted to show you how I made the papers. My idea was to make something that I could Xerox photocopy a lot of times, and use over and over again. So you could probably tell that this is a paper cut. Let's get that square in the picture. This is a paper cut. And I'll go through the paper cutting with you. What we get when we make this is it's a stencil. I use this as a stencil, and this is the effect. And it came from this stencil. Let me do this for you so you can see this properly. So I think when it goes like this. So this is the photocopy of this stencil. You know what? Let's just walk through this thing. The thing I wanted to do when I showed you this is to show you that you get two pieces of paper at the end of this stenciling process to work with. One is the positive shapes, and well, the color is in the positive, and on this one the color, no, this is the negative. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is the stencil, and this is the paper that I sprayed on. So you get to choose if you want to photocopy the paper that has a little bit more white on it and it might make a better journaling page, or the paper that has a little more color on it. And you can see in this one, I chose the one that had more color because I was using it as like papers to mat my journals with and stuff. But let's just walk through and I will show you the technique. So all you need is a piece of paper and a pair of scissors. I think that I've found that for the most part, this is not the paper cuts that I do with origami paper, you know, that are really fine and thin and little teeny weensy shapes. We're not doing that today. We're making much bigger shapes. Now, I folded the paper twice, once and twice. You can fold it again, you know, into triangles. It's perfectly fine. I think for this paper cut, for my purposes today, I've already got some paper cuts cut, and I want this one to be just a two-fold. So then you choose maybe even only 3 shapes, maybe 4 or 5 shapes, but they don't have to be very big. I pre-cut some shapes because I wasn't at all sure if I was going to like what I came up with. cutting on video here, you know, the whole talking and configuring things with your right brain at the same time, it's all very tricky. So I wasn't sure how it was going to come out. See, now I'm doing more than 3 shapes, but I'll show you a paper cut where, actually, let's just stop right there. Let's see what kind of a design we've got going. You'll notice that I am definitely unfolding. See how lumpy it is here when I haven't bent the folds backwards? And as a stencil, we're going to want this to be nice and flat. So I really do recommend that you just, you know, between your fingers, no big deal. Just press those folds backwards and this'll, that's kind of cool, don't you think? All right, so this is 1. This is 2. On this one I had 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes. On this one I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. And in this one, just had 1, 2, 3 shapes. So we get to play with that. Now, to spray paint, you're going to need some sort of a big surface. An open grocery bag would work just fine. That we're not using that much spray ink. Oh, and let me introduce you. This is a distress ink. This color is Mermaid Lagoon. This is the Ranger ink. I've also got some Dilutions. What's the... Oh, this is also Ranger. Huh. I don't really know. This says it's a spray stain, and this says it's an ink spray. I don't really know what the difference is between these two. So another Dilutions and another Tim Holtz Distress spray stain. So probably any kind of ink that you can vaporize would be the thing to do. Now for a surface, I'm going to use one of my, I call them blue boards, even though this particular, it's an insulation board that comes from well, this comes from Lowe's. My local hardware store has blue board. Lowe's has green board. And on a YouTube video, I was watching a van life video where they're actually using the insulation to insulate their van, and that was pink. So I guess it comes in all kinds of colors. I want to set this up so that you can see. Oh, I guess I'll just, except I don't want to move things. Okay, there's the corner of that one. There's the corner of that one. I'm going to have to move them down a little bit so I don't get ink all over everything. And there's that one. And I'm going to do a fourth. Hopefully I will be able to move the board when this is done. See, I don't want to have to touch it with my fingers because I don't want to get, this is, can't see that. This is one that I've used before with blue inks. I don't want to have to touch the papers, so I want a surface where I can put the papers down and then leave them until they're actually dry. So maybe a piece of cardboard, just from any old cardboard box might work just as well. So then, I don't know if you have to shake these. I'm going to take my spray, and I don't want to spray too hard necessarily. And I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to put a little of the Dilutions purple. There's a light space right there. Ooh, that's very interesting. This is coming out a little askew. That's kind of cool. And this is the Dilutions. Oh, the Vibrant Turquoise. I'm gonna just fill up a little bit again with the blue. Just any little places. I like mixing the colors like this. So we've got green there and blue pretty much everywhere else. This one has some purple going along with the blue, and there's a little green in there too. And I kind of like this one. It's got mostly blue and it's really kind of pale. So we'll see how that works. I'm going to move this away. And let that dry without fussing with it. Here is another one that I did. This one had some red, and there's actually, I don't know if it's going to show. Are you getting that? There's just a little bit of gold spray. Now, of course, when I photocopy the gold, I won't get the shimmeriness, but this is kind of cute anyway. So yeah, so I think I've told you everything. You get out of this process two kind of initial primary pages. You can either work with the page that was sprayed upon, which is going to have a little bit more light space. I think I went in afterwards, and I must have sprayed this down again because, like on this one, a lot of white space. I don't know, it's somehow not quite as interesting, which is why when I did the photocopy, I chose the stencil rather than the stenciled paper. So you get to choose that. I'm gonna let that sit there and hope that my camera will pick this up as a thumbnail. Someday I'm gonna have to learn how to do my own thumbnails. So that's it. You just let the papers dry and then photocopy them like a zillion times if you like it. And it's maybe a good idea to do some junk papers. I mean, to do some papers knowing that you're not going to fall in love with every single paper cut, which happens to me often. Like sometimes I'll like the cut, but I won't like how it actually stencils out. So yeah, just sort of try it and know that maybe not everything's going to be perfect, but maybe a couple of them will really delight you. In all areas of your life, may you have delight, and know that, I've been thinking about this a lot today, when we experience our delight, we fill the earth with that energy, and then we pass it on to those we love, and we just pass it on. It actually goes everywhere. So the more we have delight, the more we're actually helping the planet and the universe. That's a theory, but I'm pretty sure that's true. I mean, think, if you walk into a room and you're feeling delighted, then the people around you can feel like kind of happy. And if you walk in a room and you're in a blue funk, then the people around you will, I don't know, try to avoid you or say, oh, poor baby. And then everybody kind of gets sad too. Not that being in a funk is the wrong thing to do. It's the correct thing to do if that's where you are. But if you're in a place where you could kind of choose what you want to have go on for the day, maybe choose delightedness. May there be lots of opportunity for delight in your life, not the least of which should be the art that we make and the little plastic jewels that give us a ridiculous amount of thrill. All right, have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye.